Hi everyone, and a big cozy welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I feel like I barely upload on YouTube these days, but honestly this is always going to be my place of peace and happiness. I'm currently a full-time video editor and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving the security and stability of that and the joy I get out of editing, but it does mean that I find less time to edit for myself, and also when you've been doing that all week you kind of don't want to spend your spare time editing more. And it's a cozy Sunday afternoon, perfect time to unbox something like this because the Witch Casket subscription boxes it's like a self-care subscription box for witches, and it's quite rare for me to even subscribe to a subscription box off my own back, because I've got a lot of subscription unboxing videos on this channel, but they're gifted, they're one-offs. I try a box once and then never really again, or I'm lucky enough to get boxes sent out every month. But I'm a girl of variety. I like dipping in and out of things and trying different stuff and testing it out and giving my own opinion, and then kind of like never really looking back. But with the Witch Casket, I really appreciate everything they do. What they do feels very personal, sentimental, and the passion and love that goes into these boxes feel very energized with a kind of feeling that you don't really get with many other subscription boxes. Well, I just look down and see this, sent with love. And it is autumn season officially. We have arrived into the best season. I do love summer. It's the time where I have most fun memories. It's my birthday season. It's everyone's vitalized and energy is high and the sun's out, which means we're not down and depressed. But autumn is an absolute vibe. Check out my autumn cardigan. The bedroom's feeling very cozy right now. It's just a lovely season, and most other witches could probably agree, so cheers to that. And on that note, I thought it would be the perfect time to subscribe for a Witch Casket box to arrive during. They don't tell you what the theme is, they give you like a sneaky little video and they say like subscribe to our next box if you want to, and they give like a little animation on Instagram, on their Facebook page and stuff. This month in particular, it looked like it was probably based around divination tools and psychic powers, and they're always kind of somewhat focused around that anyway, but I was really intrigued in particular by this animation they'd put up. So though obviously the next box coming is going to be the Halloween box, which is probably the most anticipated box in the Witch Casket community because it's Halloween. I mean, what better box to subscribe to? But last month's sneak preview as well looked kind of focused around travel and maps, based around travel altars and things, if I'm right, though it makes sense that they posted that theme before summer began because that's when people travel. I'm really excited to be opening my second Witch Casket. As I said, I subscribed to this after reviewing their box a little while ago now. I think it was over a year and a half ago or something like that. But this spell in particular, I actually casted and kind of documented my experience with the spell that they included into that box, which was a creative spell. I don't do spells very often. Every now and again when I feel like I really need an energy and I want to hone into something, in the same way someone might create energy by calling upon goddesses or something. I think for me it's about spells, going within and asking the elements to help me. It turned my life upside down. Like the craziest coincidences happened in that month. I'll link that up there somewhere for you if you're interested in that. I've just come a long way since that spell. I feel like that spell triggered a new job. It triggered a new community of people in my local area that I'm really close with now. Confidence to find that job, to be in that workspace that I now do as a part-time thing alongside my full-time work, and everything I basically needed and asked for came to me like that. And I completely believe that Witch Casket kind of enabled that ability, the wonders of the witchy world, and I'll never forget it. So that's why the Witch Casket has a very sentimental place in my heart. This business is ran by a mother and her daughter. They are two witches, and I think that family touch is very evident in the box. They do have a shop, I believe, a physical store, I believe. All their online stuff is so beautifully done. They must have a team beyond just those two to run their Instagram and their Facebook and stuff, because the graphics are really beautiful. To really get magical things right in a world where everyone is getting into magic and everyone's a witch, I think it's really important to find places where experience is and people know their shit. I think it's quite dangerous to get that wrong and to not know what you're doing and saying, and it's not just a craft that's like fun and silly. There is an element of knowledge that has to be behind what who you're learning from. I think anyone who's teaching you anything like spell work or witchcraft and energies and all those kind of things, you have to be careful about where it's coming from, who it's coming from. But less of the serious stuff. Yeah, a family ran business I can very much get behind. Ooh, spiritual connections. I think this little book may be some spoilers, but that's the animation that they were showing on their social media. We hope you love the spiritual connections theme we chose for this casket. Ooh. So I was basically right, same thing, right? We have been wanting to create a casket like this for so long, and we can't tell you of the excitement we felt putting this together for you. It is our hope that this casket's contents will help you feel more connected on a spiritual level with yourself, the earth, the universe, and those around you. Yes, please. Please remember to read through this pamphlet so you can familiarise yourself with this month's items and our specially selected suppliers. There are going to be baby witches that need that sort of info behind the stuff that they're using because it's really important. Piece of art. And you'll probably notice straight away the branding behind everything is so beautifully done. A lot of subscription boxes I've seen before, the company will just kind of collaborate with lots of different people, which is all well and good, and sometimes there will be stuff that they've collaborated for to make this box happen, but they put their own kind of stamp on it and they make it very kind of beautifully put together so it feels like part of the same box rather than just like a box with like loads of different brands shoved into it and sold off as a subscription box, if that makes sense. So in this envelope we have what appears to be charm envelopes. Use these enchanting envelopes in place of charm bags or bottles filled with magical items to match your desires and seal with intent. So honestly, I don't want to do this wrong because I know what I'm like and I probably will. I believe I've done that right. So you make them into little envelopes to maybe put spells and stuff in. I don't know if I've done that correctly. The other thing I will say is when you subscribe to this box, you get access to their website's store as well. Items similar to these ones, it might even be items from past boxes. So if you missed out on something, you can still purchase it separately, which is a really cool idea. Those items themselves might even have information on how you use them on the actual shop as well. This really stands out. Once again, look at the branding. And this box is actually £29. That's including shipping. That's quite rare. Now, most places will definitely charge you extra for shipping. I believe something of this size in this country to ship would honestly be approaching £5. I feel like postal services are not cheap in this country. I don't know if it's the same for other places, but my god, it's the way it is here. Everything's purple and black. That was the hint on the theme as well on the video. It's a really nice box, which I'll be reusing. It's a nice little magnetic box. And it says in this little card here, Intuition Spell Jar. Ooh, it's a spell jar. Sit mindfully and add the lavender and amethyst chips to the jar with intent. Hold the key in your hand and state the following. Intuition be unlocked, a key to open all that's blocked. Place the key in the jar, close the jar, and if you wish, seal it closed with wax. Trust your intuition. Amazing. Obviously, I work very close to my intuition. Another job that I do is tarot reading, and if I'm providing a service to people that want my guidance, obviously that's when I want my intuition to come through the strongest. I'm really trying to differentiate between kind of my own personal logic behind the decisions that I make in life and my intuition, my gut, my kind of calling. This year I feel like I've really kind of grasped the difference and got a bit better with not only recognizing intuition but honoring it a lot better. I've noticed like when I honor it, really massive changes and turnarounds happen, and it's almost as though as soon as I do that and actually listen and act on my intuition, I feel like a massive, almost like a I told you so comes from the sky of like, why did I not do this earlier? And it makes me feel a little bit crap about myself. So I'm trying to get better at like hearing it quicker and acting on it sooner rather than later. But God, you can smell the lavender in this. So I think as well, something really good about these boxes is that you can use them as entrance guidance, kind of like entering witchcraft and trying to understand what's best for you and what you enjoy the most. How to do, for instance, spell jars, because once you've done one of these for the first time with this box as guidance, you can look into different spell jars online and read books on it, and if you really resonated with this and if it worked well for you, then you know to go into that a bit more. Whereas if someone prefers doing them in pouches, which is what I've done before and I felt like it worked really, really massive, like really, really strong for me, then I can continue down that route. Oh, this smells. I used to hate the smell of lavender. Now I love it. Amethyst chips in here, key in here, and obviously the lavender, and then the jar. If you would like me to kind of do a follow me along spell video, a bit like I did when I made my I tried spell work for a month and here's what happened video that I made, if you want to see me do another one of those, because I kind of like doing spell work in a very kind of analytical, scientific way, which seems very contradicting to something that's based around faith, but I really like to show results and document what happened, because that way for me it solidifies my faith and reasoning behind why I do what I do, basically. So if you want to see that, then let me know. After opening a couple of things, I quickly had a little look at the pamphlet just to see what extra additional information is on there, but it seems like a lot of it's just repeated from the cards it comes with anyway, so I don't necessarily know whether the pamphlet is necessary, if I'm going to be honest. This is quite a big box here, so I'm really intrigued to see what this is, because blimey. Oh, it's a mug! Brew with intent and drink mindfully. Stir clockwise to attract, counterclockwise to banish. Well, there we go. That's another kind of example of what I mean about just the simple idea of drinking tea mindfully, stirring it clockwise to attract things in the morning. Maybe when you wake up and make your coffee. In the evening, you can work counterclockwise and stir to like remove energy from the day that no longer serves you and trying to, like, you know, leave the day behind or energy behind. Or for instance, it's new moon today, so I can focus on what I want to attract when I make my tea. If that works for you and you're introduced through this box, then amazing. I think then the box is doing its job. I'm a mug ho. They're just the most comfy, cozy thing in the world. Like, no matter what time of year, motivate me to work hard during my breaks. If it's a nice mug, it fills me with so much joy to have that little like moment of peace. In the morning, it helps me get out of bed. In the evening, it helps me calm down. Oh my god, it's pink and black. I'm not huge on the design. It's cute. I feel like the text could have been a little bit bigger. I like the pink in the middle, like the lavender kind of colour. Tarot cards and tea leaves. Just, I feel like that's a little bit of a wasted kind of... Putting a mug in this box is quite an expensive chunk of the box for them to make. So I would have thought that's something a bit more like... Do you know what I mean by that? Does anyone agree with that? Am I just being picky? I don't know. Though a mug itself, I would say would go for like a $5. It's quite weighty as well. It's dishwasher and microwave safe too. This one, however, is not. I learned that the hard way. I put this in the microwave once and it literally started sparking. It's also a very witchy one. It kind of reminds me of the night sky. I don't know. That's simply just me trying to be as honest as possible. And with most Witch Casket boxes, I believe they all come with incense, which is good. For every theme, there is going to be a smell that kind of goes with that theme, if that makes sense. There's going to be a herb or like a type of color even, or something that you can burn alongside. Going to be frankincense and sandalwood. Frankincense is a essential oil for intuition. I think things like essential oils and incense is a really good constant to have in every box because it can fit with every theme. Actually, I like that. It's always worrying when you get gifted or like sent from a friend incense. It's like perfume, isn't it? You either love it or you don't. But yeah, this is really nice. I wish I could I was gonna go smell it. It just reminds me of witchy shops. I have a lot of incense sticks that I wish smelt like that kind of key smell that all those witchy shops smell like, but they never seem to hit that same spot. This feels like it does. I'm quite impressed with that. Oh, I actually really like this. This is probably like out of the entire... I've got a big old stock of incense in the other room, and I actually want to put this on the top because I want to use this soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's quite a decent amount to have. Ooh, is there a pin? Yay! I was like really intrigued to see what it was going to be, because I've started pinning onto my little black beret that I love. A double whammy. It's got a double secure thing on the back, and it's a key with a pentacle on it. But I like that. It's like the lock to my third eye. This bag is gorgeous. Once again, may reuse it. If you make your own stuff for people, it's coming up to Christmas, you might want to reuse their bags, because look how gorgeous that is. Ooh, is this a coaster? Oh my god, please say it's a coaster. I have too many coasters. I love coasters, but I actually use them to the point where they kind of get saggy and gross and tea stained to no return. So it's like a slate coaster, and it's got a hand on it, a palm with heart line, headline, fate line, and lifeline, and the hand has some tarot cards underneath it, which is really cool. I'll be using this while doing my readings for people for sure. This can go with my mug. Do you know, I was just thinking, because this theme was intuition, you would have thought that maybe have like a simple tea leaf design on the inside of this. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just tea leaf reading mugs. Maybe they could have maybe done that instead. I don't know why I'm so fussy about that. But so this is technically titled as an altar tile. To rest your chalice when not in use, to protect your sacred altar. They can also be infused with energy and used as a surface for your herbs, crystals, incense burners, or candles. Next item, some sealing wax. I actually got a wax sealing kit with my creative theme Witch Casket box, which was really cool. It teaches you how to like seal an envelope with wax, and you have the little stamp. Black and purple to go with the black and purple theme. Enhance your magical mailings or charm bottles, which is what we got sent in this box, by sealing them with a decorative wax seal. Not only is this a striking way to secure them, but it lends you the perfect opportunity to stamp them with your powerful magical intentions. Light the wick, then hold at an angle so the wax drips where it's needed, and then firmly stamp it in place and allow the wax to harden a little before removing the stamps. You can get some really cool designs on the metal stamps. How cool would it be if your neighbour sent you a Christmas card that was wax stamped? So this is a little scroll, and I believe they send a little scroll of writing. It will be like a spell, something to frame, or even maybe put into your book of shadows, like informative information. Gosh, I'm scared I'm going to rip this. And I actually have framed their creative writing write-up. It's all about the power of writing, and I loved it so much that I framed it and put it on my altar. And this one is called Spiritual Connections. You could probably laminate these all and put them in a little book, which might be a cool idea. Everything in life is connected. All of the elements, earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, every animal, person, and everything surrounding us, it's all connected. But if we don't feel spiritually connected to these things, we can feel scattered, lost, and alone. True. When we connect spiritually, it can help us to heal, to become more motivated and focused, and make us feel more secure in our world. Most people, when they speak of a spiritual connection, are referring to a twin flame or soulmate. I don't necessarily, but... And there's no doubt that these kinds of spiritual connections exist and can be beneficial to us, and these particular connections are not solely for humans. Ask anyone who has ever had an animal soulmate. Those connections can be just as strong and meaningful. I believe they're called familiars, right? It is important to realize, however, that a spiritual connection can be something we feel even when we are alone. We can nurture a connection to all things by opening ourselves up spiritually. Once we are awake and connected spiritually, we have a new sense of being and belonging, and we can find ourselves feeling more alive than ever before. That is true. I feel like I made a little video on spiritual awakening and how powerful it was and how much I loved being in that energy, and I still feel like I slip in and out of feeling spiritually connected, but because of that experience, and I'll leave a link up there somewhere to it, it's made me realize how spiritual connection should be as important as like connecting to friends and family and brushing your teeth and looking after your body. Like going within and making sure you're kind of charged up there as well is just as important as everything else, and it's sort of mind, body and spirit. That's the point, right? It's interlinked and it's important as everything else. Our intuition can be heightened. We can feel attracted to authenticity and have an increased empathy for others. Yes, inner encouragement to like shine and be creative and put your own stamp out into the world and not just blend into like the rest of us, and have that like permission to do that, I guess. It is important that we free our minds and make space for this connection, so we should practice mindfulness, gratitude and meditation. That's how I got there. And we need to listen to and pay attention to our intuition as it tries to nudge us in the right direction and show us anything in our lives which lacks authenticity and should be kept at a distance. Yes. When our mind is open and we are ready to connect spiritually, our instincts play a huge role in guiding us, in attracting people with whom we can have deep bonds, and shallow friendships will gently slip away. I know that feeling. Making room for more genuine relationships. Yes. We will naturally notice and appreciate things which were once ignored, and our lives will become more meaningful. I love this as kind of like a reminder, getting back in touch with that and the importance of why that place is a good place to be. Here are some herbs you can use in teas and brews to aid you when you meditate and encourage spiritual connections. Cinnamon, dandelion, hyssop, lemon, marigold, lotus, and sage. I don't know if I have this right, but do they have like a certain font that they keep to as well for each theme? I feel like all the font has been the same for this box, and someone who has the business as well, like, you pick up on these things, I think, a bit more. The next thing, this is just a gift that keeps on giving. The energy felt very strong of the last crystal I had from their other box. How you feel when you buy magical products as well is very important, because it tells you a lot about the intention that's put into the product. If you can feel the energy of a crystal from a place that you've bought it from, then the chances are pretty high that they're experienced in that company, and they've charged it like with intent when giving you the box. This is Lepidolite, but it's purple to go with the theme. It kind of looks like amethyst, but I'm assuming it isn't because of the name. Deep emotional healing and soothes anxiety and depression. Mostly about healing when there's ample opportunity of crystals that are about intuition. This allows for the clearing of blockages, deeper spiritual connections, and heightened intuition. Intuition's very good at like coming through stronger when you're in that place of peace. And I think we're on the last item. Packing peanuts. Whoa, last but not least, we have a magical, it comes with a sealing stamp. Not sealing stamp, but sealing. I bet it's going to be an eye. Oh, it looks a little bit stained. I mean, it won't matter, will it? Because I'll be putting wax all over this. But I mean, I really enjoyed these pieces. I really appreciated everything put in. A lot of love and attention went into the different items. However, because it's like an intuition box and it's about divination, I was expecting more divination tools. Maybe like a pendulum or tea leaves. Maybe even like a tarot spread mat or something. It was a little kind of, I don't know, off the point perhaps. They gave you some like digital downloads, which I think is a really nice extra. So an additional Book of Shadows page, which is a candle spell, tips on how to work with moon magic around Halloween time, because that's obviously the month coming up, a spell on connecting with your ancestors, which is really cool, and then they sent me a September phone wallpaper to use, which is cool, a home protection spell bottle idea, which is also really cool. I'm in no way saying that this box doesn't feel worth my money or like a waste of time or anything. I just felt in terms of the theme, it felt a tiny bit off. However, I think that itself does go to show that it might possibly be a bit silly to be put off subscribing to the box if you don't think the theme will be for you, because I didn't subscribe last month because it was a travel theme, for instance. I might have seen something in that box I really resonated with, but it didn't necessarily feel like I have to be a traveler or something to connect to that product. To go by just the theme and to encouraging you to subscribe might be silly, because the products might not necessarily feel massively connected to the theme anyway, if that makes sense. Yes, it's got tarot cards on the front, and maybe I will subconsciously like this a bit more because of that, but I still feel like anyone who's a witch can connect to the different boxes, the different themes for different reasons. You don't have to have like a personal connection to them. Is this a theme that you would expect to be paired with the items that you saw in today's video? £29 per box. Do you think this is a good price? I personally do. I think I would have liked to maybe have seen an extra spell included into this. Yes, there was the jar one, but I just feel maybe there's a box out there which is more spells in and stuff for you to take part in that month, which you kind of feel like have been sent to you for a reason. You're letting someone else send you a spell that almost giving you that feeling of it's sent to me this month, so maybe it's needed for me this month. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if there is other subscription boxes out there that feel more kind of connected to that idea, so perhaps that's just simply not what the Witch Casket is possibly about. Should I subscribe to the Halloween box? I don't know. Let me know if you want me to continue unboxing these on the channel. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I will see you for my next video, which hopefully shouldn't be too long from now. Have a lovely start to your autumn, everyone. Get cozy, comfy, and I will see you for my next one. Subscribe to this channel to be notified every time I make a brand new video on my social media such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and book a reading with me if you would like to down there. Bye!